subscribe. Subscribe to my guy, Uncle D. Tell him Big Bad sent you.
Dennis Spurling. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas, an advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father. I have black sons. Hey, man, I do what I do.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Dennis Spurling, and I want to talk to you all today about a topic that I thought I've been able to put to rest for a while, and that's the passport bros. Recently, there's been a growing wave of criticism aimed at what's been labeled the passport bro movement. Black men who choose to travel abroad for various personal reasons, whether it be for dating, marriage, or simply leisure. And what's troubling is that as much of this criticism is coming from within our own community, from both black men and black women who have decided to attack these travelers for exercising their basic human freedom. Let's be absolutely clear. These are grown men. They have the right to spend their money, their time, and energy however they see fit. In a time of heightened racial tension and anti-black sentiment, both from the outside world and from within, it's disturbing to see so many of our people turning their frustrations toward black men who've simply chosen to live differently. Now, my advocacy has always been about uplifting and defending black men, and by extension, strengthening the black community as a whole, because you can't have a black community without black men. And lately, I've expanded my mission to help end this endless gender conflict that has divided us, largely because of the current racially charged political climate. You see? Black people are being attacked from white racists. We're being attacked from black immigrants who come to this country. But when you have people, and shout out to Gunmetal Guy and shout out to everybody, hit the #1 button when you come in so I can know you're here. But when you have people who attack black men for choosing freedom, for choosing peace, for choosing to live on their own terms, they're not solving the problem, they're feeding it. They're keeping alive the same hostility that has weakened us for generations. In addition, they invite a backlash from black men who will respond, and thus what? Keeping the beef between the genders going. What we're witnessing is a symptom of something deeper. It's a mentality inherited from white liberal paternalism, a mindset that whispers black men can't govern themselves. And that idea has infected our people in convincing some to believe that they have to go police and shame and restrict other black men's choices as if we're children. And see, that mentality is not only false, but it's poisonous. At this point, the message is simple. Let those brothers live. If a black man chooses to go abroad to find happiness, to find love, to find sex, to find peace, to find fortune, or even if he's just going over there to breathe a breath of fresh air, that is his right to do so. And if he chooses not to engage, don't argue. Okay? If he chooses not to engage or not to participate in the endless blame cycle of that we're dealing with, that's his right. And no one is entitled to his presence. Nobody is entitled to his infection or his time. And in this regard, your insults and your shaming is only going to evoke a reprisal. For women listening, I want you all to understand this. Chasing men who have made it clear they don't want you and are trying to shame them or belittle their activities only deepens resentment and division. Look, around the world, black men have options. Beautiful, intelligent, and loving women who see their value. If those men choose to build relationships elsewhere, that choice should be respected, not resented. This is not the time to fuel these old conflicts. This is the time to respect other people's freedom and to let go of control and to celebrate autonomy and focus on unity and progress and empowerment. Black men deserve the right to live freely and fully. And no one inside or outside the community has the authority to take that away from them. Now, that said, I'm not a pro-black. I'm not a black supremacist. I'm not a black separatist. I am simply advocating on behalf of black men. My work and focus are dedicated to addressing very specific issues related to black men's well-being and success. My advocacy for black men does not come with a list of mandatory relationship choices. They will do what they choose to do. And that choice has no bearing on whether or not I advocate for them or not. They are free. And my advocacy does not include policing other black men's personal dating lives. My only desire for black men is for them to find peace of mind and happiness during this short time that we have in this life. And largely it's because, frankly speaking, angry black men in the vicinity are a danger more for me than anybody else as a black man. You're more likely to be unalived by another black man than by the police or any other race or group. So it behooves me to want these black men to find peace of mind and happiness as a matter of my own safety and well-being. Now, that being the case, my work, my message, and my focus is dedicated to addressing the unique challenges that black men face, challenges that too often go ignored or dismissed or distorted, and by the very system and voices that claim to care about us. So when I speak from a place of experience and purpose. I've seen how black men are burdened with expectations, but rarely given grace. We're told to be strong, but not supported. We're told to lead, but then we're not trusted to lead. We're told to love, but that love is not given in return. And so my advocacy is about creating a space, a real space, for black men to breathe, think, heal, and live on their own terms. My advocacy for black men does not come with a list of relationship choices. Okay? Let me reemphasize that again. I don't believe in policing grown men on who they should love, who they should date, or how they should spend their time and their money. That's not my place. And it shouldn't be anyone else's. These are free men. They're not children. They're entitled to make their own decisions, even those decisions that don't fit in someone else's political or social or cultural narrative. Whether a man chooses to find love at home or abroad, whether he decides to marry, stay single, or travel the world, none of that changes his worth or his right to peace. My role as an advocate is not to control black men. It is to support them in pursuing their lives and doing the things that make them happy and fulfilled and self-defined. Because at the end of the day, my only desire for black men is simple: to find peace of mind and happiness. Again, that peace might come through success in business. It might come through family. It might come through faith. Or simply stepping away from a toxic environment that no longer serves them. Whatever form it takes, I want black men to know that they do not have to seek permission from anyone else to choose that for themselves. They don't owe anyone any explanation for living freely. They don't owe society conformity. They don't owe the world an apology. What they owe to themselves is the commitment to live authentically without shame. That is the foundation of my advocacy. That's the message behind every word I speak. Freedom, dignity, and peace of mind. That's all I want for black men. Everything else, every argument, every debate, every social expectation, it all comes second to that truth. Now, as an advocate for black men, one who genuinely wants to see them enjoy freedom, peace of mind, and self-determination, I'm a strong supporter of the brothers that they call passport bros in the movement. You can call it global nomads, you can call it passport kings, you can call it world traveling, you can call it international living. The name doesn't matter. What matters is the principle behind it. I want to see black men see the world. I want them to experience life beyond the limits that have been imposed on them here at home in the United States. Travel broadens the mind, it expands the spirit, and it challenges every narrative that tells black men they're only supposed to exist in a narrow box. It's an opportunity, it's a privilege. And most importantly, it's something they've earned through their hard work and perseverance and survival in a system that has rarely been fair to us. And anybody who would interfere with that or has something negative or disparaging to say about it is not a friend of black men. And that needs to be addressed directly, because this issue is bigger than dating or tourism. It's about autonomy, it's about respect, and it's about self-ownership. Now, that being the case, I have some videos I would like to share with you all. And I want to take the opportunity to address each and every one of them. Y'all hit the like button if you hear me. Okay? Let me know you can hear me. And if you learn something, I should earn something. You guys know the routine by now. And we're going to deal with this. Head up. So let's go ahead and let a couple of videos play. We're going to start with this brother right here.
To Kenya, got a woman pregnant, married her, then brought her back to the U.S.
Now, just for you all know, this brother here is basically shaming the black man from Kenya whose wife left him, for a more successful man. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to go to Kenya to find yourself a disloyal wife. We have plenty of disloyal wives and women, girlfriends right here in the United States of America. So this is not unique. You understand? But the fact that he wants to get on the internet and tease his brother and say basically, I told you so, is unfortunate. Let's listen.
So let me passport, bro. You went overseas to Kenya, got a woman pregnant, married her, then brought her back to the U.S. So let me get this straight, passport.
And let me know if you guys can hear me clear. So this is basically what he's talking about. He's not the only one that has stuff to say, but look, let me explain something to you. You know, you always going to have issues wherever you go. Now, there's going to be, no matter what country you live in, no matter what country you are, women are going to do what women do. And a disloyal woman is a disloyal woman. Now, I don't ever tell brothers they should bring women back to the United States. I don't say that at all. I say, if you find them there, keep them there. But, you know, the idea that this something that happens all the time, all around the world, in every country is now, oh, this is just CU passport bros, as if this is the case for all. I know a brother right now who married a woman from Colombia. And they're still married. Been 10 years. Great relationship. So that's not something that is going to happen every time. Now, let's watch some more of these videos. Y'all hit the number 1 button and let me know you can hear it clearly.
In the club, we at dinner, and there's black men out there too, but they like not really approaching these black women. Where are all the black men?
Now you hear the brother. Are you all listening to him? I'm gonna let this play again.
Colombia with my lady. We in a club, we at dinner, and there's black men out there too, but they like not really approaching these black women. Where are all the black men at in Colombia? They're hand in hand, walking the streets, prostitutes.
Yes, they are hand to hand walking the streets with Colombian women. Black men who travel to Colombia do not travel to Colombia to meet black American women, respectfully. If they wanted to meet black American women, they could go to Atlanta. They could go to the Bayou Classic. They could go to Essence Festival. They could go to Detroit. There's plenty of black American women in Detroit. What would make you think it would be odd that black men who are in Colombia are walking hand in hand with Colombian women? What would make you think that that would be odd? Why are black men being shamed for doing what is obvious that they went there to do? You see, at this point, it's getting ridiculous. Now, he just wanted to drop the fact that, oh, well, you know, they down there meeting ladies of the night, pay for play. Well, might I remind you of the Cheesecake Factory incident, where we had so many women telling us. Now, I like the Cheesecake Factory. Shout out to the Cheesecake Factory. If you want me to do a commercial on this broadcast, send me some free cheesecake. I'll be more than happy to take each and every one of your samples of cheesecake and tell my audience which ones I like the best. Shout out to the Cheesecake Factory. Nevertheless, there are some women who said they are too good to go to the Cheesecake Factory. There are other women who have told the general population of men that in order to speak to them, praise God, in order to even speak to them, that they need to cash at them $25, $35, $55. That's what they've said. If you can't cash at me $50, $100, I just met you. If you can't send me, I'm telling you, I'm going to the nail shop and you can't send me $225 to get my nails done and my hair done, or my nails done, my toes and my fingers, then you just not being good. That to me sounds like pay for play. Okay, and how can you get mad at a group of men who say, well, you know, you only offer nails, and you know, I'm not getting anything in exchange for my money, so I can take that same $250 and get a better product. That's basic. I mean, ladies, you made it marketable. Let's be honest. You're the ones that said it's for sale now, and now you angry because these men are going places to get a better deal. I mean, let's just. And I'm not talking to all women. I'm just talking about the ones who have been participating and the ones who allow it to keep going. You see? Because there's a lot of ladies standing on the sideline saying, yeah, that's right, girl, make them pay. I want you to think about that. But this is the culture that we live in. And so you're angry with men because they're going down there just getting it straight up like that. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm pointing it out. But you know, this is not abnormal. Let's keep looking, keep on watching.
Reverse Uno the passport bro, and he is so upset. She got married to him in Kenya, had a baby for him in Kenya, came here and said bye-bye. And now she's trolling him.
It's funny, right? So people are laughing at this man's misfortune. He got a woman who is disloyal, as if there are no disloyal women in America ever. Right, you got a woman who is disloyal, and now they're clowning him. Okay, you know, I guess people are entitled to it, but all that's doing is creating animosity.
Look at the black, right there. Watch. The two right.
Now these brothers right here, see, these are the undesirable black men, right? Shout out to all the dusty black men out there who are watching my broadcast. All you dusty black men.
There in the center.
I know he's. Now look at the women. Look at these ladies right here. I think this might be either in Colombia or the DR, and this is inappropriate according to a lot of folk in the black community. It's inappropriate. These dudes.
Oh, look at that one in the back.
These dusty men should not have access to any women at all. Okay, that's what they're saying. These men who can afford to spend their money. Look at I can tell by the back of this brother's neck. I want to see this brother here in the black. I can tell by the back of his neck, okay, the meat rolls back there, okay, that he is at least 45 to 50 years old. I can tell by the meat rolls. Okay, you can look at the back of this brother's neck and tell he's been around for a while. And then you got another brother out here, he got his little flip-flops on and the socks. These are all tourists out here. They're all tourists, you can tell. They got the Jordans on like it's 1993, 95. You understand me? And they are out there tourism, okay? with these beautiful women, and people want to judge. Now, I don't know if you all recall, but I remember when this flared up a couple years back. And guess who was the one who introduced YouTube to the book In Pursuit of Happiness? Who was it that did that? Who was it that said, hey, have y'all checked out this book, In the Pursuit of Happiness? Huh? That talks about the lovely ladies traveling down to Jamaica? Huh? Who was it that did it? I'm going to give you one guess. Who was it that got on these internet streets? Huh? That talked about the book called The Pursuit of Happiness. I'm going to give you one guess. Because remember, this was in response to lots of ladies talking bad about the passport bros. Who was it that brought this book to the light of day? Who was it? Who was it? Just type his name in. Huh? And when that person did that, okay, what happened when that person did that? When that person did that, people was like, oh, wow. You telling me these ladies have been traveling down to Jamaica, getting hammered by the bamboo, and they've been doing it for decades. In fact, the whole movie, Stella Got a Groove Back was basically discussing it was me. You see? It was Uncle D, the Blizzard King, that brought the truth to the light of day. The pursuit. They got a whole book dedicated to black women traveling to Jamaica, right? To experience, because they're disappointed in racism. So they go down to Jamaica for the week. It's so bad. I mean, and we're talking about women who are actually sleeping with underage boys, propositioning old women, 55, 60, 70-year-old women down in Jamaica sleeping with. This is what this book talks about, written by Bianca C. Williams, a black woman, right? Not me, printed in February 28. How did I find out about it? Because they're teaching this book in those Ivy League schools. This is literally a book that was introduced to me by my wife, who said, yeah, they talk about that in this class I'm taking. In the American Studies class, and the damn tuition is $60,000 a year. And they talking about what black women's sexual habits and travel habits in a feminist class. You see? The women require spiritual and virtual connection to Jamaica in order to live happily in the United States. Their notion of happiness relies on travel, which requires leveraging their national privilege as American citizens. Williams' theorization of emotional transnationalism and the construction of each of the effect across diasporic distance attends to the connections between race, gender, and if you look at all that, for all this, so they can go down there and ride the bamboo. I just want you all to understand that, okay? And it was I that brought this to you all, okay? Now, again, I don't want to have to revisit this. This is not something I want to continue talking about. We have too many issues in the black community with too many people attacking us. The reason a lot of people become upset with me is because I'm good at what I do. I'm a very good advocate for black men. And the best thing to do is have me and people like me advocating on behalf of black people right now. But if you're going to continue attacking black men for exercising their freedom and choices, then you're going to get a reprisal. And that's unfortunate because that's not what we need right now. What we need right now is unity. And I don't appreciate these gentlemen attacking other black men. Now, of course, let us continue. And you all may not like what I have to say. But again, it needs to be said. We're not going to allow this to continue. Let's keep listening to these videos.
Kickers, y'all are following black men to those countries where they're going and then making videos of you watching them.
Yeah, this brother is basically saying you got sisters traveling to other countries. Like the one said, I'm down here, and you got sisters traveling to other countries and basically acting like, I don't know, spies or police. You see? As if that's gonna stop it. Keep listening.
Yeah.
And case in point, this is a video from a while back, but it's just getting none of this is helping our situation. We are trying to get rid of this gender war, but none of this is helping. Okay, and I'm gonna dig a little deeper into it. None of what you all are doing right now is helpful to ending the gender war. But let's look at this sister right here.
I hate to be the bearer
Now she's at the airport in Cartagena right now.
of bad news, but if you're looking for a man, just know that the reason you can't find him, a black man specifically, is because he's in Colombia already. He's in Colombia already, y'all.
And the reason you can't find a black man is because he's in Colombia already. Okay, that's what she's saying. She's apparently at the Colombian airport right now, snitching and telling on what brothers are doing as if she's a police.
So this is the first time I've come to Colombia, like post pandemic. So like seeing it at its like true form of like what the numbers are looking like. And when I tell you that my whole flight was full of it was full of black men traveling with other black men. They come into Colombia.
She said a whole flight was full of black men traveling. That's what she said.
Yeah, baby. That's why you can't find them. They're all here.
Again, this is not a movement. Some people mistake. They call it the passport bro movement. It's not a movement. It's an ideology. Okay? It's an ideology. It's not a movement. It's an ideology. All right, which means it's pretty much set. It's a way of living. It's a way of operating. And so it's not anything that's going to change anytime soon. Let's look at some more of these videos so we can understand the context of what's going on. Okay. Here's another sister right here in Tokyo.
Since I've been living here is the amount of coonery that I've seen in Tokyo. And sorry to say, but it's mainly from black men from America. The way that I have to watch y'all treat me and my fellow black sisters like shit, but
so this lady is over in Tokyo, Japan, and she's complaining about how black men are treating you as a black American woman in Tokyo. Sister, let's set that aside. How are the Japanese men in Tokyo treating you? Are they treating you like a dainty flower? Are you over there angry because those black men are treating those Japanese women like dainty flowers? Are you over there angry because those Japanese men aren't treating you like a dainty flower? Why would you go to Japan just to complain about what black American men are doing? Are there African men there? I know there are. How are they treating you? Why do you think you should be treated any different in Japan by black men from America than the Japanese men are treating you? If you're going to Japan, I'm just asking questions at this point. Why go all the way overseas then to turn around and complain about the treatment that you're receiving as a foreigner in a foreign country by black men who obviously didn't come to Tokyo to meet black American women? I mean, you see how unreasonable that is? Why are we making this unnecessary beef? Why are you getting on the internet, adding fuel to the fire of an already brewing gender war, becoming angry with men who've left? Why would you get mad at a man who left? They're 2,000-3,000 miles away. They've left. Why are you mad at them? Let's keep listening to the lady.
treat the Japanese women all delicately like they're special flowers is insane. When black American men
Well, it's coonery. It's coonery treating the Japanese women like the Japanese coonery. That's what you're trying to tell us. You don't like that. Because they treating the Japanese, sounds like a little bit of jealousy to me, baby girl. Sounds like a little jealousy. You got that, your little face. Sounds like jealous. I'm just saying. You mad at black American men over in Japan treating Japanese women like delicate flowers. Have you been acting like a delicate flower? You don't seem like you act like a delicate flower to me, baby girl. Look like you. I'm just saying. Look to me like you might not be acting like a delicate flower. Maybe you acted like a delicate flower. Somebody treat you like a delicate flower, but don't seem to me like you've been acting like a delicate flower. Okay, now I didn't want to do none of this. Okay, I've been trying to be an advocate for black people in this racially charged climate, but you just picking on brothers. You just out here picking on black men and making problems where there shouldn't be. Why'd you go all the way? It's not like you are in Atlanta. The black man not treating me like a delicate flower. You went all the way to Japan to hang out with the 3 black men who are in Japan right now. Okay, and you mad because those 3.5, we'll say 3.5 brothers, because one of them is half Japanese. You mad because they're not treating you like a delicate flower. I'm just saying, sounds like a bit of jealousy to me.
And get over here, the coonery be on 10. Y'all need to pipe down because they do not give a fuck about you.
Ma'am, they didn't come over there to see you. Why would they care about you if they didn't come over there to see you? Look at your eyes, all man. Look, they don't care about that. They cool. How you gonna coon shame dudes in Japan? They all the way in Japan. Explain that to me. How do you go to Japan and complain about black men dating Japanese women in Japan and treating them all nice? You just want somebody to treat you nice. You probably had a man that would have treated you nice. You probably did. Matter of fact, I can pretty much bet that those men in Japan right now, those black men, you wouldn't date near one of them if they were in the United States right now. You wouldn't even date one. You wouldn't even look at them. You ain't 6 feet tall. You don't have a 6-pack. You would say stuff like that. You don't make 6 figures. That's what you would say. You would look right past them. And now that you see them with those Japanese women, and in your little imagination, those are supposed to be my men. They supposed to be fawning over me, treating me like a delicate flower. Now you're jealous. My grandma used to say, a man never looked so good as when he was on the arm of another woman. Now, I want you to keep in mind, a lot of you ladies said they were strong, independent, and didn't need a man. I'm not saying all the ladies. And this message is not for all black women at all. It's not who this is for. This is for the ones saying these horrible things about black men exercising their freedom to come and go as they please, as if we are slaves. I have a problem with that. And any self-respecting black man should have a problem with that, whether you're a passport bro or not. You can't have people dictating and shaming you for exercising your right to come and go as you please. Nevertheless, we're going to move on to the next one. Let's see what else we got out here. All these people trying to police black men and tell black men what they can and can't do. This is ridiculous. This is smoke. Hit the number 1 button if you can.
Pick me and or male-centered.
Now, this was in Medellin. She's back in Colombia. Now, I've been to Colombia several times. It's beautiful, gorgeous women, okay? I personally like black women. I personally like women of African descent. I tell my sons, hey, son, this is what I want for you. I prefer for you to date and marry a woman of African descent. She could be black American. She could be African. She could be a Caribbean. She could be West Indian. She could be Afro-Latin. That's my preference for you. But even with my own sons, I'm like, you meet, you love who you love. God bless you. I wish you well. So why would I ever think that I could tell grown black men what to do? And the fact that she's in Colombia, where some of the most beautiful women in the world live, according to the rest of the men on the planet, men come from all across the world to Colombia to date and marry and be with those women. And now you down in Colombia, black women dating in Medellin. You got to understand, you don't fit the bill down there. And so what would make you think as a Black American woman you could go to Colombia and compete with those Colombian women for men who want women who look like the stereotypical Colombian woman? That's arrogance. That's sheer arrogance. But let's keep listening.
Don't come to Medellin if you are a pick-me and or male-centered. I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. You are not the preference.
Yes, that's right. Maybe you should have figured that before you got down there thinking you were going to date the little Colombian man or whatever man is down there. But why are you lashing out at Black men about it? That's the thing.
You're not looking for us here. First, I'm going to assume that you are mostly attracted to Black men. So
if you're mostly attracted to Black men, why would you go to Colombia? Okay, have any of y'all been to Colombia? The doors are short. When you go down there, the doors are like a foot shorter than they are here in America. When you go to the ATM machine, normally it's right here at your waist, it's down there by your kneecaps, especially if you're tall. Okay, so the men are short. I was telling my 9-year-old, I said, he's 5'4". I say, son, you about as tall as a full-grown Colombian man right now. Right now, if you were in Colombia, you'd be operating a taxi cab. Okay, you'd be helping put roofs up. Right now, you full grown in Colombia. So of course you're gonna be attracted to Black men. That's what you use. They're taller. The average Black man is about 5'9". That is huge in Colombia. You are 5 or 6 inches taller than the average man in Colombia if you're 5'9", more or less. Pablo Escobar was 5'2", and he was pretty tall as the rest of them out there. Okay, but let's listen to her continue complaining. I'm attracted to Black men, but
or date Black men. And so when you come down here, especially if you're from the US, the Black men here will openly tell you, why am I going to check for y'all when I have Colombian women? Specifically,
yes. Why would I look for you when I came to Colombia to look for Colombian women? Why would you be so arrogant as to think that a Black man who's traveled all the way to Colombia will be looking for a Black American woman, sister? And then if once you get down there and realize what actually makes sense is occurring, now you're offended, you're going to resort to the internet and then just shame all Black men. That's just ridiculous. You're just looking for beef. You all are keeping up unnecessary trouble.
Black Colombian.
Yeah, you keeping up, and yeah, that's right. It's a lot of Black Colombian. You keeping up unnecessary beef and trouble. That's all you're doing is making trouble in a time when we don't need trouble as a people. Okay, we got these white nationalists on the move. We got racist people saying all sorts of crazy stuff. We don't need that right now. Not at all. We don't need it. And you all are keeping up trouble. Let's keep listening.
The LDH's path.
Can we have a serious conversation, young lady? You want to have a serious conversation? Can we? I don't know if we can. It depends on what you are about to say. Okay? But whatever you say, I'm going to have that Tupac drowned out in the background because I don't want Death Row demonetizing my broadcast. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let you play, ma'am.
Sport bros, like whatever you want to call them. I just don't understand how the most basic level men can leave America, travel to these other countries, and just pull absolute tens, like the hottest girls that you will ever see. And these men, like men that we wouldn't even look twice at, are just pulling them and convincing them to date them. Like, I truly don't understand it. Can someone please explain to me how this is happening and how these men are able to get away with it?
Well, let me take the opportunity to explain to you how these men are able to get away with it. See, only a shout out to my man Nuruddin FDNY guy. Shout out to all the brothers who are overseas right now checking out Uncle D. Let me explain something to you, young lady. You are clearly living in a first world country and you are in a first world delusional state. The rest of the world doesn't need pretty men. Did you know that? They need productive men. A man with a six-pack and no job, okay, or a six-pack, I'm sorry, he's 6 feet tall, with no ability to provide for himself, is in poverty, okay? women in those countries where they need to be able to eat, shout out to Blue Baggins, those women have the sense to recognize that it's not so much about a pretty man as it is about a productive man. See, here in the United States, you all have such a variety of successful men. And I know you don't realize how successful the typical American man is. But when you go overseas, you realize that a man who makes $40,000 a year on a global scale is probably in the top 10% of all men in the world when it comes to finance. Okay, so that little Social Security check or whatever, he might be getting a little pension that he got from the New York City Fire Department retirement fund. That's going to go a long way in Colombia and the Dominican Republic and all these places. It's going to do him very well. He'll be able to afford all his bills and a substantially high standard of living. Those guys who take their military pensions after doing 20 and getting the DD-13 and getting out of the military, they're doing pretty well overseas. It's only here in the United States because you have so many successful men, so many men doing so well for themselves that you have the luxury of picking over men who might be a little chubby, who might be a little too short. You don't have a six-pack, you don't play in the NBA. You look over those men. But those other women say, no, this is the type of man I want. That's par for the course. And let me tell you a secret. Somebody said DD-214. You right, brother, my bad. Let me tell you another secret. When you go overseas and you actually look at them, I'm not judging men, I ain't judging. But smugly is not, well, let me say it like this. It's they're not the most handsome looking group of men just because they're foreign. The women are beautiful. But the men, on the other hand, not necessarily tall. I ain't seen the six-pack yet in the DR. Okay, those men, the women see that, they like, I don't know. you hungry. You see? You got a calorie deficiency. You go places like Colombia, most of them are short and bald. This is what they look like overseas. So when these women see these American men, I'm like, okay, it's pretty much the same. A man is a man is a man. So American women and women in general who are in Western countries are spoiled and they don't even realize how lucky they are. And now that they see these men leaving, now they have a problem. Again, we don't need to have this unnecessary beef. Okay, the last thing we need right now is all this unnecessary beef in this with this racial strife that we're dealing with. And again, this is not something I want to deal with, but if you keep attacking black men, what are we supposed to do? At some point, the brothers are going to push back. And that's what you see happening.
Sport bro argument again, trying to reshame us into coming back. But I see and notice what happened. And there's no more friend zones no more.
Ooh.
There's no more, hey, can you bring me some Chipotle? Can you go bring me some Chick-fil-A? My tire's flat. Can you come and check my oils? I'm finna travel out of town to get busted down by Pookie. Can you come and do?
Y'all know he's telling the truth. For decades and decades and years, when black men were pretty much just, content with staying here in the United States, a lot of women took advantage of black men. You had a whole roster of men, ladies. Tell the truth. Don't lie. Don't lie now. Don't start lying now. You had a whole roster of men. You needed this one to change your tires, talk to this one on the phone about your emotional issues. You had this one to take you out every now and then. He too old. You was real picky. But see, now a lot of those men have just said, you know what? I don't even want to date, anymore. I don't even want to date anymore. I'm good. Or they've gotten older. Some of them got married. And then a lot of brothers are going overseas. The brothers that will actually spend money on you, many of them, the word is spread like, man, why are you going to the club and spending $2,000 in the bar just to try to hang out with some women, when you can spend that same amount of money and live like a king for 2 or 3 weeks in the DR or Colombia? Again, you're making these brothers make financial decisions if they want to date you. So if you've gotten them used to spending money in order to receive your affection, why wouldn't they go somewhere where they can get a better deal? That's basically what's happened. You ladies, you took the love out of it and it made it all about finance, and you mad because they find a better deal. Listen to the rest of what the brother has to say. Shout out to Nuruddin FDNY guy. Also understand that the whole reason the passport bro shaming and guilt is kicking back up because the economy that we living in right now. People not getting the EBT cards. People looking for resources. People want to know how I can feel. I need a simp right now. I need a simp. You got a lot of women say, I need a simp. It's just not enough simps to go around. You trying to stop these men. If we just stop these men from going overseas, they'll be forced to spend their money on us. We can keep those reasons. That's not how it works. Look, it was a long time coming. It's been years and years and decades of black women saying and not just black women, because it's not just the black passport bro is not just a black man thing. Actually, it started with white men. White men have been traveling overseas to places like the Philippines and Thailand and Vietnam for decades. Black men in the military can tell you this is nothing new. It's just new when you have the common everyday black man who says, oh, this ideology is something that I can pick up on. And so, it's not a lot of black men, but it's the group of black men who are interested in dating and mating, and men who have extra money to spend. Because if you have money to spend, you just have money to spend. Okay? You can spend the money going to the club, you can spend the money hopping on a plane. And the brothers who don't. And so now the market is drying up. So you don't have men out there who are willing to hang out in the friend zone in hopes of getting some woman's attention. It's just not there. And there's nothing you can do about it. You don't want this man to look. Ladies, look at this brother on the screen. Look at him. Look at the brother. Okay? You know darn well he is not your ideal. Let's be honest. He knows that. I know that. And you know that. You would look at him and pass him by. But he can go to Colombia, he can go to the Dominican Republic, Philippines, Thailand, and get a beautiful woman. And how are you going to convince him to come back? How are you going to convince this man to leave those 10s alone, those 9s and 10s, and come back and hang out with women who are just disrespectful to him and will pass him by like he's nothing? You're not. He's won with his actions. Him and millions of other black men have won this argument with their actions, and no amount of shame or guilt. Let me break this down before I let this brother continue. Women win arguments with their mouths. Men win arguments with their actions. Passport bros have won this argument. There's absolutely nothing you can do to stop them. And I want you, there's nothing you can do. You think you're going to get Donald Trump and his administration, who are deporting black and brown people left and right, to come up with some law that's going to prevent black men from leaving the country willingly? Do you think that's what's going? Do you think this administration is going to come up with a law like that? I think not. I think they're happy to see us go. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. But all that happens when you keep beefing and shaming these brothers is you create more tension between black men and black women. So it's not helpful. If they're gone, they're gone. He's not coming back. Brothers like him are not coming back. They will never be happy again. Shout out to Marcus A. Brown, hanging out in the United States, getting treated like they were being treated 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They're not coming back. No matter what you do, you will not get this man in the friend zone again. He will not be there to trick off and help you. He's not going to do it. Let the brother finish speaking for himself. Go ahead.
Do this for me. I got some drywall that needs to be fixed. Can you come on my yard or whatever? And you doing all this because you like her. Mm-hmm. And then you realize, then you're trying to move to that next level. She's like, I just want to be friends. And so you moved on.
Yeah.
Got your passport, found what you want. And these ladies are bitter and pissed. Trying to shame us, trying to say, trying to say we're pedos and trying to say we're taking advantage of third world countries, which they ain't never been. to these countries or whatever and realize how beautiful they are. The infrastructure is amazing, better than ours.
Now look, I don't want you all to be under any misunderstanding. Brothers are going down there to smash. Okay, they're going down there with their dollars in one hand and something else in another. Okay, let's not get it twisted. They are going down there so that they can lower their chance of colon cancer. Okay, that's what they're going down there for. A prostate cancer. That's because the more you get that poison out of it, you got to get that poison up out of you. The more you get that poison out, the lower chance you have of prostate cancer. That's a medical fact. You need to let that, you got to air that thing out. You got to shoot up the club every now and then, so to speak. You understand? I don't want to be, this is family friendly around here. Okay, but you all know what I'm talking about. Okay, they need to get down there and exercise that muscle. Shout out to Neuron and FDNY guy. Okay, and they down there exercising it. They're like a mug. Okay, they boom on the table. Cuánto cuesta? You understand? Then they getting it out. And you all mad at them. They're going down there for health purposes. They're lowering the chance of prostate cancer. Every time they go down there and they spend, a week and a half, okay, they lowering their chance. So they come, oh my God, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Jackson, you all healed up. What happened? What kind of therapy you've been on? I've been undergoing that Medellin therapy, that Medellin. Okay, that's what they doing. They down there hanging out with them gals. Okay, them la chicas. That's what they're doing. And brothers, look, step to the front. Don't lie about it. We know what you're doing down there. No need to step. Why you lying? We know what you're doing down there. We know what you're doing in Thailand. Some dudes in Thailand right now listening to me on this broadcast, and they just came up out of something strange for some change. You understand me? Don't lie. Be bold with it. Shout out to TIQ. Be bold. Don't hide it. Tell the truth. It's legal. It's lawful. That's what you're doing. We know. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're over there. I ain't gonna say the word. It's family friendly. Let's keep listening to the brother.
And that's what it is. The women don't have no friend zones. They gotta pay the lawn man. They gotta pay a lot of that stuff now. And basically, they don't want y'all, just like we don't want them, because just as the women telling me that I'm unattractive, a lot of them who say they don't want me, I wouldn't date them anyway because they unattractive.
And brother, see, again, the brother's saying the women are telling him he's unattractive. Being attractive is something that women are concerned about in the first world, where they have a plethora of men to choose from. Okay? In America, the roles have reversed. You got to be pretty. You got to be in the United States. It's so backwards that the man is supposed to be pretty and in good shape. And the woman could even be slightly, she could be high calorie, so to speak. Okay? But the man is supposed, this is how twisted the women have it in the United States. It's so warped and insane. The man has to be pretty. You see how bad, and when you go somewhere where things are normal, where women invite interactions with men, where they're open, where they receptive to your advances, you can't go back to what we have going on in the United States. It's just not gonna happen. This brother is gone. You see what I'm saying? And see, the thing is, they accept you for how you are. This brother probably about 40, 50 pounds overweight. But he got his money together. He got his career together. Shout out to Nerd and FDNI. Why would he come back here? And you mad? You ladies don't want him anyway. The brother already said, you say he's under. Y'all don't even want this man anyway. You just want him here to utilize him for his resources and his time and energy and finances. That's selfish on your part. And to talk bad about him because he found a better deal. All that is going to do is invite a reprisal. It's going to keep this gender war going. And it's going to keep this beef between black men and black women going. And that does none of us a favor. Leave these passport brothers alone. We don't have time to beef. If he does not want to be with you, if these men don't want to be with you, leave him alone. Focus on the men who are still here. Treat them better. Treat those men who are still here better. Instead of being mad at the men who left and talking about how they're unworthy, they don't look good enough to have a fine woman like that, focus on the ones that are here, because at some point, if you don't, this ideology is just going to intensify. And it's going to get worse and worse and more rampant. Period. Let's keep listening to the
Them hoes look ugly.
Uh-oh.
To me, anyway. So that's what I'm thinking it boiled down to, fellas. There's no more friend zone. There's no more free dates. There's no more free car washes, oil changes. It's none of that no more. And I think they're trying to shame us to redoing that stuff because, you know, the economy is tanking and a lot of them are struggling. What y'all think? Y'all think they trying to do reverse psychology?
Yes, a lot of women that would otherwise, you know, be able to get a man to help them out here and there. They're living in their cars. They're living in, storage facilities. They're living on the street. They had to move back in with a family member or a friend. There's a lot of that going on. They don't mind you tricking in the United States. They just don't want you taking your money tricking overseas. Let's be honest. Okay, they want you to keep your tricking local. You hear me, fellas? All you passport bros, they want you to keep your tricking local. Help boost the economy here. That's what they're saying. I just want you to understand that. This is all about, so they're going to say whatever they're going to, but again, all it's doing, you brothers are not going, you're not going, all you're going to do is have beef online, and our open enemy is going to use that against us. Leave these brothers alone. Leave them alone. Because the more you black women talk bad about black men for whatever reason, the white nationalists and all these other races, they're just going to take that and throw it back at all of us. And then when the brothers respond, they're going to take that and throw it back at all of us. See? They can't even get along with each other. So just leave it alone. White women have had to deal with this. Latino women have been, God, my goodness. Latino women, you ain't got to be a passport, bro. Granddaddy, daddy, baby daddy got 3 or 4 other kids by 2 or 3 different women right now. This is not something that women around the world don't have to deal with. Men having other women and going other places. It's just what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. Period. But all you're doing at this point is just keeping up the beef. Let's keep listening to what these folk have to say.
Reverse Uno the passport bro, and he is so upset. She got married to him in Kenya, had a baby to him him in Kenya, came here and said bye-bye. And now she's trolling
you think it's mad? Ain't nobody, you just mad because ain't nobody marrying you. Now let's look at this other brother. I want you to, I found this quite peculiar. Listen to this.
Movement is lame nigga movement. So passport bros equate to.
I want y'all to hear this.
All that passport bro movement is lame nigga movement.
All that passport bro movement is lame N-word movement, sir. Respectfully, sir. Sir, as I listen to you, sir. Okay, I'm listening to you, sir. Respectfully. You saying that the passport bro is lame? Sir, where's your passport? Sir, respectfully, your passport is what I'm concerned about. You talking about black men, black N-words with passports. Are you from here? Because you don't sound like you from Chicago or Detroit. You don't sound like the mom and them from Montgomery, Alabama, sir, or Jackson, Mississippi. Okay, you don't sound like that to me. They look like you sound to me like you came from somewhere else yourself. You came up here, and now you saying stuff about who? Black men with passport. I'm gonna keep listening to it. Let them finish. Okay, then we're gonna talk about it with your little hat turned back. Okay, and I see you got that forehead. You got that extra extended forehead, sir. You're not fooling us. We're gonna let you finish though. Go ahead.
So passport bros equate to lame niggas. And I know a lot of y'all might not like what I'm saying because it's the truth. The moment that you have to leave your hometown to get a piece of ass,
the moment you have to leave your home country to get a job, go ahead.
You's a lame nigga. And on top,
the moment you have to leave your home country, okay, to get some health care, all right, to get some adequate shelter and not have to fight malaria, you a lame individual to me. But I'm gonna let you finish though, sir, because it's a bit hypocritical. Sound like a bit hypocritical.
on top of that, I wouldn't have a problem if you guys fly to another country to get like a good quality woman.
I wouldn't have a problem if you flew to the United States of America, okay, for vacation in Disney World, and then you went back home, okay? I wouldn't have a problem with that. But you decided to do what? Stray, okay? So let's now, come on now. I don't think you have standing to talk about this situation, okay? Okay, I don't think you, sir, I don't think you have standing to talk about who should be flying where and doing what when they get there, sir, respectfully.
Y'all go over there to fuck daddies.
Y'all go over there.
Bro, make it make sense. And look, I'm not trying to come at anybody.
To do what did you come to the United States to do, bro?
But if you feel offended, I'm talking to you. You's a lame nigga. Stay in your state.
Why are you even using the N-word? Sir, that is a uniquely American term, and you are clearly not American. Okay, you're not. Okay, you got the little, you look like you know, you got the little hoodie on with the hat turned back and everything, but you're not this, sir, respectfully.
Work on yourself, and I promise you, you're gonna find a nice woman. Cause what the fuck?
Shout out to Nerd and FDNY. Go ahead.
These women are struggling. They're going through shit. There's a lot of evil spirits in them because a lot of niggas are fucking.
Okay, sir, they're struggling because the men in those countries, okay, the men over in those countries, okay, have them struggling. The evil spirit was injected in them by the men in those countries. Same country you left to come to the United States. And I guess you brought that evil spirit with you. Praise God. But I'm going to let you finish.
Just for cash. And here you are thinking that you the shit because they let you hit for a couple of pesos. And then you think that you lit. You a lame nigga to me. Anyway.
Now, here's the thing. See how everybody is chiming in, all of them taking the opportunity to talk reckless about black American men. You see, that's what that was about. That was some foreign black dude using the rhetoric that he hears coming from black American women, right? Remember, these folk already have their intraracial belief, intraracial bigotry that they would like to direct towards black people in general, but black men in specific. And now guess what? Now they're presented with the opportunity to direct it towards black men. And this is why we need to chill on this beef, because the people that already don't like us will use our conflict against us. And that's what I see happening. Okay? That's what I see happening. And that's why we need to end it. You're not going to change these men's minds. It's an ideology. They're not going anywhere. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. So what's the point of unnecessarily beefing? Huh? What's the point of that? Huh? What's the point? Just keep listening to these folks.
Passport Bros is not so much an identity, a collective of people who have decided that they are going to flee the United States and find wives. It's more an ideology. And that's where it becomes concerning, because the men are flocking to this ideology, and the connection is not a genuine desire for love and companionship. The connection is disdain, distaste, malice toward American black women.
Is it really, baby? Is it really all about you, sister? I mean, let's just think about it. Look, is it really, or are they just going over there for some ass? I'm just saying. I mean, are they going over there for some good treatment? Are they just going over there for some ass, or are they just going over there for some good treatment? How are they being treated over there? Because see, last time I checked, it's plenty of loose vagina right here in the United States. Okay, I'm sure that there's loose vagina available for purchase here in the United States. Shout out to Quantum Solace. I'm sure of it. I'm absolutely sure of it. So are they just going over there for vagina, or are they being treated differently? And do you consider this malice directed towards black women? Is it black men saying, hey, we get treated like this over here, and we get treated like this over there? Now, given there's always going to be people who badmouth the other sex. We see black women doing it all the time. You get a lot of black women who date white men, and they talk bad about black men and whatnot, and that's whatever. Maybe they're trying to convince themselves that they made the right decision, but whatever. But why are we even commenting on it? Why is this even something that we need to talk about in the public discourse when these men have already made their decision? All you're doing is keeping up beef. You're not going to be able to stop men from talking bad about you. It's not going to happen. But the people who don't like either one of us are taking this information and throwing it back up in our faces and further undermining us and our credibility and our humanity. So why are we bringing it up? Why are you centering yourself about this anyway? Let's keep listening.
I was just reading about how effectively the manosphere generally and passport bros in particular are able to utilize memes. They speak to each other in memes, written memes and visual memes. We see them over and over and over again, and people are internalizing these ideas and not necessarily connecting these ideas to hashtag passport bros, but connecting these ideas explicitly to how loud, ratchet, ghetto, masculine black women are.
Okay, baby, nobody is saying that all black women are loud, ghetto, and masculine. Okay? The question you should be asking yourself, am I loud, ghetto, ratchet, and masculine? That's what you need to. Just like nobody's ever saying that all black men are thugs and criminals and drug dealers and deadbeat daddies, right? That's what you all told us. We're not talking about all black men. If it don't apply, let it fly. Right? Right? I'm right. So you centered yourself around this conversation. You want a reason to beef. That's what it sounds like to me. You just want a reason to beef. That's what this is coming across as.
And that stuff extends beyond interpersonal relationships. Mm-hmm. That stuff is not about, oh, they don't want to marry me or date me. When we see the reiteration time and time again of this stuff about black women, my concern.
And here's the thing, I don't want to dig too deep into this because I'm trying to get to the point where we end this gender war. But it didn't start with black men, ladies. Okay? See, for decades, black women had access to mass media in the form of talk shows and music videos and, movies. And they had an opportunity to basically, they free range to say whatever they wanted to say about black men. And nobody put them in check. There was no media conglomerate put together to say, hey, that's not true. Black men are not deadbeat dads. That's not true. Black men are not all in prison. That's not true. All black men are not on the DL. Black men have the highest use of condoms, condom rate use amongst all other men. Black men have more black men in college than we do in jail. Black men, according to a 2015 CDC report, are the most involved group of fathers. But you never heard any of that. All you heard was deadbeat daddy, thug, criminal, doesn't want to take care of his children. I got all these kids. There was never any pushback. And now when you finally have black men saying, hey, you know what? That's not true. Now it's a gender war. It's like you can dish it, but you can't take it. It's a gender war when black men say, oh, no, that's not true. And in fact, when I compare you to this other group of women from this other culture, even black women, because there are black women overseas, who are from other cultures, oh, somehow you're disparaging black women. But again, black men didn't start this gender war, ladies. So I want you to keep that in mind. So if you said what you had to say, and then brothers had what they had to say, why are we still talking about it? For our open enemies to use this against us? Why are we at this juncture? Why are there so many new videos where black women are taking the opportunity and black men are taking the opportunity to disparage the passport bro movement? Why are we picking on black men now? Why can't we just let it go? But we'll let the sister finish speaking.
Is not, don't go. Please go. Leave us out of it. My concern is more thrown onto the backs of black women who are already contending with so much.
Well, again, all we're doing at this point is beefing. And so even in a situation where we're beefing, you got people who are outside the community who are going to come in and say something about it. They feel the need to chime in, like this lady.
Passport bro. A passport bro is a man who is done with entitled, ungrateful, high mileage women in the West.
She's giddy about it. This little white lady has got looks like she's white. She's giddy. I'm a man. She means black men. Done with women. She means black women. Because passport bro is a uniquely black American term. Okay? It's a uniquely black American term. When you say passport bro, it's the black American men who are traveling overseas. So she's speaking in code, but I understand what's being said, and you all should too. This is what happens when you kick this up, and this is not what we need, but I'm gonna let her finish.
Demanding provider status while offering nothing but an attitude and an OnlyFans link. Done
Attitude.
with 50% divorce.
Who do you think she's talking about when she's talking about attitude? You think she's talking about little Asian women, Latina women? Maybe. More likely than not, she's talking about black women. So she's taking the opportunity to throw some pot shots in. And when we continue talking bad about each other, this is what happens. But again, you know, the brothers, I thought we were done with this 2.5, 3 years ago. But y'all keep bringing it back up. And, you know, how can we get along and mend this divide if you all keep shaming black men for exercising their rights as free men? How do we do that? Huh? We can't. It's just going to be beef.
Divorce rates, false accusations, alimony, traps, and child support jails. Done with feminism lies. You're toxic if you want a feminine, loyal, fit, debt-free, low body count.
Like me, right? You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying they chiming in. But go ahead. We asked for it.
So he grabs his passport, flies to Colombia, Thailand, Philippines, Ukraine, Brazil, anywhere but the U.S. Places where women still value men. Cook, stay slim, don't weaponize sex, and see marriage as a partnership, not a paycheck.
Now, she's doing some pandering too to black men. I just want you to understand that. But keep going.
Stats don't lie, my friends. U.S. women initiate 70 to 80% of divorces. 60+% of Western women, 18 to 30, are obese or overweight. The average Western woman, 7+ sexual.
Who do you think she's talking about? She's using all the statistics that we use against each other, and she's throwing them back up in our face. Okay, remember that, what's that little young lady name that, what's that tall, what do they call her? After Brother Kevin Samuels passed away, the little white lady showed up. She had a show in London. What's her name? I can't remember her name. She had a show in London. She had a bunch of black people on there. She took a bunch of white manosphere talking points. Pearlie, that's her name. Remember that? Remember what I told you all about her? Why I didn't fool with her? Huh? When I told you she was going to be the next spokesperson for the black manosphere, and you had all these people in the black manosphere saying, yeah, she's out there speaking on behalf of us. We're getting the message out. And I was like, I'm not dealing with it at all. Because, see, I understand how white supremacy racism works. They will co-opt your message. They will entertain you. And once they get popular, they will then go back to doing what? They will go back to the white supremacy racist rhetoric. You all saw that girl put that boy Nick Fuentes on. And now she's gone far right. She's basically saying all the black people that voted for her, that supported her, you know, all those black, they racist against her. You see what I'm saying? See, there's one thing I have, and that's good discernment. And I can, you're not gonna con me too easily. I'm old school. On top of that, I'm from the hood before the hood was popular. And I recognize a hustler when I see it. And I recognize a hustler when I hear him. And when I'm watching, I'm constantly watching. If I don't fool with somebody, it's probably a good reason. You understand what I'm saying? That play was too obvious, but some people were so giddy to be accepted by white supremacy racism, so giddy to have the stamp of approval of white people, they just involved, yeah, she can speak on our behalf. She get the message out. You see? That's not wisdom. That's falling for the same old trick. Because the same thing that girl Pearlie's doing is what this woman, she's taking the same information that she's heard black people say about each other, and she's throwing it right back up in our face to continue the effort of maligning the reputation of both black men and black women. And so our open enemy, and I'm not talking about all white folk, I'm talking about the white supremacists as past this well-meaning white woman. Okay? That's y'all love these these well-meaning white people will take that same information and throw it up in your face and have all of you looking bad. Period. That's why you keep this out the public discourse. And so as long as you all keep talking negative about black people, they're going to keep using it against us, both men and women. So why are we still beefing? Why are we still beefing in public like this about the passport, bro? You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, every time you say these things, somebody else going to turn around and use it. So you understand what I'm saying? Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? Are you listening? I hope you are. Look, a couple more videos later, we're gonna get to work.
I love. It's so funny hearing men talking about something. You know, I only date foreigners. I only date foreign women. And then you get over there and she feeding you beans and toast and gefilte fish inside of a can. Now you dumb and hungry. Then you like, you know, all y'all want is money. Yeah, guess what? She just done tricked you.
I mean, you hear what, shout out to Kenneth Mother. You hear what the brother, look, you hear what this sister saying. All they want is money. That's what they think all American women want is money. You talking about he's going overseas and some woman is feeding him some poor meal beans and rice or whatever you said. Most of you lovely little ladies can't even cook. Your mamas couldn't cook and your grandmama 46 and she can't cook either. So I'm just saying. What's the difference? And the truth is, most foreign women can cook because they have to. Because eating out is a first world luxury. You understand what I'm saying? So even what this little lady is saying is not even realistic. This is her imagination. This is not even what's actually going on, ma'am. You know what? Let's hold on a minute. What's going on here? What's up with that? Why are you sticking your little tongue out? Why are you doing that? Huh? This is forever. The internet is forever. You sticking your little tongue out like that. This is not. What are you doing? I can't. Let me get you out of here. I don't even want to hear you. Go on somewhere, lady. We'll let a couple more videos play. I mean, you know, I'm just childish. Just childish and just foolishness. You understand? Just
have a problem with the passport bros. What we have a problem with is on black women as a reason to go over to take advantage of women women who are not financially stable.
Hey,
You're going
hold
over
on
there
a
to
minute.
find somebody.
I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't hear that. Let's listen to this again. I want y'all to hear this. Let's talk about this. I want to hear this from the beginning.
Black women do not have a problem with the passport bros. What we have a problem with is on black women as a reason to go over to take advantage of women who are not financially stable. You're going over there to find somebody who's going to treat you like a
taking advantage of women
king in all your mediocrity. Don't blame us for that.
I gotta go off of what I've seen.
Okay, so here's my thing. When did you Black American women start caring about these foreign women? Because I'm just gonna say, as I look at some of the internet and these Black American versus tether wars, it does not say it's the same group of women who have a problem with the tethers that are now you saying you care about the tethers and people taking advantage of. I'm just saying. If you care about them or not, then you can't even call them a tether because they're over in their own country. You're concerned about people taking advantage of other people financially. That's what you tell. You're concerned about Black men specifically going to other countries, taking advantage of women in other countries. And when you say taking advantage, you mean buying that cat on the low. That's what you're saying. You talking about them over there buying that Puro, that cheap Colombian cat. Okay, it ain't stepped on. It's that Puro, that grade A. That's what you're concerned about. Or are you concerned about the fact that they're over there? Because see, you all take advantage of men here in the United States financially, don't you? You have them helping you move your furniture, paying for tires, buying food, helping you with children that aren't theirs. There's a certain expectation that goes on. That's what I see that happening all the time. Why are we concerned about the poor men being taken advantage of here by certain women? When did this even become your business? Why are you concerned about what grown men do with grown women in other countries? If the women are not concerned, they don't think they're being taken advantage of. Who puts you in the parental role to assume and subsume the position of looking out for their best interest? And again, what are you going to do about it other than talk on the internet? Absolutely nothing. So it serves no purpose, ma'am. But I'm going to let her finish.
They cater to you to a T. I know someone that has married someone and brought her over here. It looks like she's out of magazine.
She would be a model over here, right? Do you think if she was born in America, she would be with him?
No, she would not be with him.
Do you know why?
Why? Why is that? So you're angry because this gorgeous woman who is catering to this man who you deem unworthy of having a beautiful woman because he's not 6 feet tall with a six pack and making $6 million a year. You want the 666, right? You're mad because now that puts pressure on you. Because see, if this very what they call mid-level man can get a drop dead gorgeous woman who is clearly, in your opinion, because you letting us know, out of your league by comparison, what does that mean you're supposed to get? If a mid-level man could get a 10, and you know you're not on her level, right? Then that means you have to, you might not get a man. You might have to get a man that's way low on the sexual marketplace value scale, a 1 or 2. That's what. So you looking out for yourself. You're not looking out for these women. Shout out to Lucky Left. You're not looking. You don't give a damn about these other women being taken advantage of. You're looking out for yourself, because if these men keep going overseas, getting these beautiful women, getting attention and affection and love and being catered to, and they're mid-level men and these gorgeous women, right? Then that means that you stand no chance. You're looking out for yourself. Stop lying. That's what you do. Keep on talking.
Why? Because they're poor. Y'all are taking advantage of these.
You poor too. Okay, I just want you to know. You poor too. Most people with money would think you poor also. Okay, I know you think you got a little, you poor too. Okay, so if a multimillionaire man came in and took advantage of you, would we think that you are being taken advantage of? Would you call that being taken advantage of? If he walking around with, yeah, come on, little lady, I'll take you a little $100,000, $200,000 and come on and live with me in my multi-million-dollar yacht, and then I got $100 million house, would he be taking advantage of you, or would that be expected? You would be applauded. And just like those women overseas are being applauded for getting these successful men from the United States to marry them. So again, you have a very skewed way of seeing things.
Women blaming us. Black women are this, black women are that, as if we're causing you to take advantage of these women.
They leaving. You're not called. How would you center yourself and nobody's taking, they just leaving you. And you don't like it. That's what's going on. Anyway, family, it's time for me to go ahead and get to work and really dig into this quantum solace. Shout out to you. It's time for me to really dig into this. So let's talk about why this backlash exists. Why so many people, men and women, black men and women, in our community, are so emotionally charged about the fact that some black men, because it's not all, but some black men are getting passports and traveling and making different choices for themselves. And the truth is, the conversation isn't really about travel. It's about control, insecurity, and power. See, for generations, black men have been told what to do, how to act, where to go, and who to love. And that control didn't end with slavery. Okay, it just changed form. Society still tries to dictate what the acceptable black man should look like, right? What he should value, and who he should belong to. And within our community, that pressure has been reinforced by gender politics, where both men and women are caught in a tug of war over who gets to define what quote unquote black love or black loyalty looks like. You understand? So when a black man decides to step outside the framework, when he books a flight, stamps that passport, and chooses peace overseas outside of the reach of the black American scrutiny, or should I say black American gaze, it challenges the balance of power that many black people have gotten comfortable with. See, his freedom, and when I say his, I'm talking about the black man's freedom. His freedom exposes the insecurity of those who depended on his compliance and his presence. Shout out to Rayshard Smith. See, when a man exercises choice, it forces others to confront their own sense of value. If you believed your influence over a man was permanent and he chooses something different, that's not about him anymore. It's about your self-worth. And instead of dealing with that insecurity, some people project it outward as anger or judgment. See, the gender dynamic plays a big role here too. Too many of us have been caught in this ongoing battle of the sexes or the gender war, fueled by resentment, economic stress, and social conditioning. And in that war, a black man's independence feels like desertion. His peace, seeing him happy, sitting on the beach, it looks like betrayal. His happiness abroad looks like rejection that everybody can see. But see, the truth is, he's not rejecting his community. He's rejecting the dysfunction within his community. He's rejecting being told that his manhood has to come with suffering and struggle and guilt. He's rejecting a one-sided standard where his value is measured only by how much pain he's willing to endure. And this backlash reveals a deeper sickness, a fear that if black men get a taste of freedom and peace elsewhere, other than the United States, then they might never come back. And see, that fear isn't just emotional, it's structural. Because when black men begin to think globally and build globally and love globally, and they break free from the economic and psychological systems that once held them in place, man, hard to get them to come back. But nevertheless, this anger that we're seeing, this name calling, this shame, It's really about fear of losing control of black men. It's about a community that's struggling to redefine its relationships in the face of global opportunity. But that's exactly why this conversation is necessary, because freedom, shout out to Ray Charles Smith, freedom by definition will always disrupt control. And when black men decide to live freely, to love freely, to travel freely, and build freely, it's not an act of betrayal, it's an act of evolution. See, what we're seeing right now with the attacks on the passport bros, it's not new. It's just the latest version of something that began happening for centuries. Okay, it's been happening for a long time. Every time black men have taken a step toward freedom and independence and self-definition, there's always been resistance, always. From the moment the first enslaved black man began plotting his escape, there were those who said, you're better off where you are right here on the plantation. We got a good master. When emancipation came, the backlash was swift. You had vagrancy laws, you had sharecropping, you had chain gangs designed to keep free black men from ever truly being free. The system couldn't stand to see a black man living on his own terms. When we had, during Reconstruction, when black men began to have our own land and our own offices and build wealth, mobs of white people, shout out to Oak Ridge, mobs of white folk came and burned down the towns. We talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Wilmington, Delaware. All of this because the sight of independent black men represented a threat to the existing order. And that was economic freedom, and they were punishing it. Now, if you want to fast forward to the civil rights era, when black men like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. began preaching self-determination and discipline and ownership, they weren't just resisted by white supremacy, they were undermined from within. Some of our own people were conditioned to believe that freedom must always be collective, never individual. But the truth is, collective progress is impossible without individuals who first learn to stand free on their own. Now, in the digital age, that same pattern has evolved. When a black man chooses to step outside the boundaries of what others expect, whether it's refusing to vote a certain way or speak a certain way or love in a certain way, he's attacked, he's shamed, he's labeled. And when he decides to leave this country, even temporarily, to explore the world for himself, he's mocked as a sellout, as weak, or running from responsibility. But let's be honest. Let's be honest with each other. The real issue it's not a plane ticket. It's the symbolism of that passport. That passport represents freedom of movement, economic power, and choice. All things that historically society has tried to deny black men. It's a statement that says, I'm not confined by your systems, your expectations, or your narratives. I am a man, and I will define my own life. And so the pushback we see today, especially from some within our community, mirrors the resistance of the past, because some people have grown comfortable seeing black men confined and predictable and under control. The idea of a free black man, mentally, spiritually, and financially free, is still unsettling to a system that relies on our dependency. So when I see the outrage over the passport bros, I don't see a moral issue. I see a historical reflex. The same reflex that punished independence in every generation. It's the fear of what happens when black men stop asking for permission and start making their own moves. This isn't about escaping America. It's about expanding horizons. Sometimes every other group is encouraged to do so. Every other group is encouraged to see what's out there. See, when white men travel for business or pleasure, it's called ambition, isn't it? When the Asian man and the Latino man travel, it's called cultural exchange. But when the black man travels, suddenly it's a controversy. Why? because freedom still frightens people. And that's exactly why this moment matters. This isn't just about passports, it's about power. It's about the right to define what peace, success, and happiness looks like for yourself without being shamed or guilt tripped into conformity. My focus has always been on advocating for Black men, helping brothers navigate the world, build themselves up, and live freely without apology. I'm not here to police anyone's personal life. I'm not here to tell any Black man who to love or where to travel or how to live. My sons, for example, they know my preference for them. I encourage them to date women of African descent. But at the end of the day, that's a preference, not a rule. See, what I stand for is freedom with integrity. I'm not a separatist. I'm not a Black supremacist. I'm a realist. My advocacy for Black men is rooted in the belief that we have the right to think for ourselves, love who we choose, and live by our own code, not one imposed on guilt and political correctness or public pressure. At the end of the day, this conversation is not just about travel. It's about freedom, brothers. It's about fundamental right of a Black man to live life on their own terms without being judged and shamed or controlled, sisters. And for too long, Black men have carried the weight of everyone's expectations. We've been told to be providers and protectors. We've been told we got to be the saviors, even when no one protected or saved us. Every time we try to create our own peace, our own lane, our own vision, a version of happiness, there's always someone trying to pull us back into the chaos. Let me say this clearly. Black men, you've earned the right to peace. You've earned the right to choose peace over pain. You've earned the right to choose clarity over confusion. And you've earned the right to choose freedom over control. If that means getting a passport and leaving behind dysfunction or simply refusing to play a rigged game, so be it. That's your right. And for those who feel threatened by that, it's time to look inward. The problem isn't that these men are leaving. The problem is that too many people who'd rather see them broken than see them free. That's the problem. And that mindset has to die because it's not love, it's ownership. You don't own us. And just to be clear, ownership is not the same as connection. See, if you truly care about Black men, you'd have respect for Black men enough to trust their judgment. Trust them. Trust us to know what's best for our lives. Trust us to seek joy, stability, and purpose, whether they find it here or somewhere else, because freedom is not something you grant. It's something you recognize. Now, for you folk who stay here and choose to build, I salute you, brothers and sisters. For folk who choose to travel and explore, shout out to Quantum Solid. You want to travel and explore, I salute you too. There's room for both. We don't have to keep dividing ourselves and our choices that we're all born, with. If you have a desire to live and to breathe and be at peace, go find that wherever you need to find that. Black men are not abandoning their community, they're expanding it. If they're building bridges across oceans and creating networks or influence or opportunity that our ancestors only dreamed of, that's not betrayal, that's progress. So my message on this particular broadcast is let Black men live. Let them grow, let them explore, let them love who they want to. Let them go where they please. Let these brothers define what happiness means to them. Stop vilifying Black men for wanting better for themselves. Stop policing them for designing their freedom as if it's a threat to you. Because when black men finds peace, the entire community benefits. His sons inherit confidence, his daughters inherit protection, his family inherits stability. His peace is not just personal, it's generational. So I'm gonna run this back again. Black men, my brothers, live your life unapologetically. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to live in misery or guilt for anybody. The only thing you owe yourself and your legacy is peace. Now let's talk about what's really happening here. What's really happening here. Y'all hit the number 1 button if you're still with me. I don't want to run y'all off, but I need you to hear what I have to say. What's really going on here? Let's dig a little deeper. See, instead of letting passport bros go and live their lives, travel, breathe, find peace, a lot of black women have decided to follow them overseas. They're showing up in places like Colombian and Dominican Republic and Thailand, not there to enjoy themselves, but to spy. As if they're catching these men doing something wrong, like their parents catching a grown son sneaking out the house. Do you realize how absurd that mentality is? The idea that your presence alone, that you showing up, should stop grown men from living freely in another country. That mindset is delusional. It's possessive and it's rooted in control and not love. Let's get one thing straight. America is not the only country on this planet. There are different laws, different cultures, different moral codes, and different ways of life. If you go to Rome, do as the Romans do. You don't go to someone else's country expecting them to live by your rules, do you? You respect their customs and their culture and their freedom. But what we're seeing is this toxic American entitlement spilling over into these other nations, as if these women think they can fly into another country and shame men into submission. Let's go down another layer. You ladies say you have a problem with men paying for play. You know what I mean? Somebody type pay for play in the chat room. You have a problem with black men paying for play. Let's be specific. That's fine. You're entitled to that, but we need to be honest about it. Because see, the hypocrisy is loud, because here in the United States, it's already pay for play. Women here are literally saying a man has to send them money just to talk to them on the phone. You got women posting cash apps before conversations. You got entire social media platforms full of women demanding that a man financially audition before he earns basic human respect. So if everything is already transactional, what I'm saying is, if romance in America has already been turned into an economy, then why are you mad at men who decide to go get a better bargain? I mean, if it's all for sale anyway, why not get the best deal? You get high quality, you get more beautiful women, better attitudes, better treatment for less of the drama and less of the cost. This is what the men are saying. Ladies, you can't turn yourself and your time and your body parts into a commodity and demand a price and then get mad when men start comparing prices. So you can't sing no romance without finance, bills, can you pay my bills? And what have you done for me lately? And then act surprised when men start shopping elsewhere. You can't judge a man by his net worth instead of his moral worth, and then cry betrayal when he decides your price isn't worth paying. See, the truth is black men are waking up. They've realized that they don't have to stay trapped in an environment that disrespects them, overtaxed, undervalued, disrespected. They realize that freedom isn't just mental, it's geographical. You don't owe anyone your misery just to prove loyalty to a system that was never loyal to you. So to those women who are flying to Colombia and Japan and Dominican Republic, chasing black men across the borders, trying to shame or intimidate them into coming home or flirting with you or whatever you want, stop embarrassing yourselves. You don't own these men. You don't own those men. You don't define their morality. You don't control their movement. These are free men exercising rights given to them, not by you, not by society, but their own will and destiny. And to you other black men, let me get in tight for you all. To you other brothers, who think you're of a position to shame other black men for doing what they do. Do we really have to talk about the decisions that you've made here? What would your baby mama have to say about you getting on the internet? What would your wife have to say about you getting on the internet, talking about what other men should do? And you can't even come home on a Friday night. You got a throwaway phone. You got side chicks. Who are you to pass judgment on other black men for whatever they do? Brothers, keep your passport active. Keep your peace sacred and stop apologizing for wanting better. Because the moment a man chooses peace, that's the moment he chooses freedom. And don't let this world guilt you back into bondage. Don't fall for it. Live your life. Travel the world, build where you're appreciated, and remember, you don't owe anyone your suffering. And you owe yourself peace. Period. Instead of letting these passports, bro, go on and live their lives and travel and breathe and find peace, a lot of black women, you're just being disrespectful. And a lot of black men are falling right along with it. Ladies, instead of chasing passport bros or complaining about what they do, why don't you look within? Stop obsessing over what men are doing and start asking why they're doing it. Have you ever thought about that? I want to help you ladies understand from a man's perspective. And I'm a grown man. I'm a successful man. I got 3 sons. I'm a homeowner, a business owner. Got a beautiful wife. I'm a mature, well-rounded 50-year-old man who's pretty much seen it all. So I understand a man's perspective. And I'm going to say this bluntly and truthfully as possible. When it comes to men satisfying their sexual desires, the standards are incredibly low. They're CEOs of Fortune 500 countries, men with millions of dollars, married men from stable homes with beautiful wives who will still risk it all to sleep with a secretary, a damn intern, a babysitter, or a maid. I want you to think about that. And oftentimes these women are not that good looking. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and the woman he made that child with, the little boy, the little one that looked just like him. He impregnated the Mexican maid, and he was married to political royalty. He was married to one of the Kennedy girls. Look at Bill Clinton over there getting head in the damn White House. Little stains all on the girl's blue dress with Monica Lewinsky. You understand what I'm saying? That tells you just how lazy men are when it comes to physical pleasure. Men cheat down. Women typically cheat up. Men will mess with women far below their social or economic level because sex for men is not about status, it's about release. So I want you to understand this. Ladies, look within. If men are willing to sleep with women who bring them nothing but convenience, what does it say when a man is willing to spend thousands of dollars, take time off work, book flights, get a passport, pack bags, fly across the ocean, take a taxi cab in a foreign country to some hotel somewhere in the middle of some hood, ghetto, whatever, just to avoid sleeping with the women in his own neighborhood? That's not a compliment to you. That's a warning sign. It's not about lust anymore. It's about escape. It's about men being so mentally and emotionally exhausted by the entitlement, the attitudes, and endless criticism that they'd rather spend money, risk travel delays, deal with visas, and navigate foreign cultures, and possibly be the subject of some criminal enterprise just to experience peace. That's not about sex. That's about survival. Ladies, look, that's not a reflection on them. That's a reflection on you. I'm talking to all y'all looking at me right now. Look, let me get up close. Look at that. I'm talking to you. A man's greatest motivation is ease. Men, when it comes to sex, will always take the path of least resistance. So if your presence, your energy, and your behavior have become so unpleasant that men would rather go halfway around the world just to avoid you, maybe the problem isn't men. Maybe the problem is in the mirror. So instead of shaming men for traveling, ask yourself, what have I become that men are fleeing from me? Why do men feel freer in foreign lands than they do here in their own homes? Shout out to BS is real. You see, when men were begging for peace, you called them weak. When they stopped arguing, you called them emotionally unavailable. When they decided to leave, now you call them traitors. But now that they're finding happiness elsewhere, you're trying to shame them what? To come back? You can't demand loyalty from men you don't respect. You can't control men you've already driven away. And you can't call yourself the prize, ladies, when men have clearly decided that the cost of winning you isn't worth the reward. This is what accountability looks like. This is what truth sounds like. You don't have to like it, but you do have to live with it. Because these men are gone and they're not coming back to negotiate over their peace of mind and happiness. Black men are finally realizing that freedom isn't something that they have to beg for. Cooperation is not something that they have to plead for. Fit, feminine, beautiful, submissive is not something that they have to negotiate for. It comes with the package. It's something that they can buy for the price of a plane ticket. And I'm absolutely certain that that terrifies the people who've built their sense of power on controlling Black men. So ladies, the message here is simple. You need to just go ahead and stop chasing men across the borders, stop policing their choices, stop pretending that shaming them will change the reality that you're living in right now. Instead, look inward, adjust, evolve, because the world has opened up and men are no longer trapped by your approval. This is a new world, one where Black men are free. And freedom is not something that's up for debate. Now, I'm going to take I got some more to say. Okay? I got some more to say. But I want to take the time to thank all the beautiful people who contributed to the Super Chat. Because clearly you all have learned a lot. Now, shout out to Nuruddin FDNY guy. Old school, been here for a minute. Shout out to you, brother. Let's read this. We got 22 Super Chats. If you learn something, I should earn something. I'm not begging for Super Chats. I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do it. All I'm going to say is if you learn something, I should earn something. And let me make sure I give a shout out to all the people who contribute to the Cash App if we have any Cash Apps. I don't think anybody came through with the Cash App. I like to get them out the way first. Let me double check. Let me see here. Shout out to Tangela Scales. Thank you so much, AB and Patricia. Look, I'm having an honest conversation with you. All this beefing on the internet about what grown men decide to do with their body, that needs an end. That's not helping us. You understand me? Okay? It's not helping us. It's not going to change anything. It's not helping. If it's not going to help, why keep doing it? Shout out to Nuruddin FDNY. Hey, Dennis, my Passport Bro dads and Passport Bro juniors wanted to say thank you. They watch your channel, and I told him I will spread your message far and wide to anyone who lives. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Blue Bagger said these cold clocks Keishas will never be happy. They think they own black men. When they see the men they don't want happy, that pisses them off. There's nothing that angers modern BWs more than BM's happiness. Shout out to Hidden. Thank you so much, Blue Baggins. Hidden Guard, he says, new member, thank you so much. Welcome to the membership. Nerdin FDNY guy says this. Dennis, the reason why they're coming after the Passport Bro juniors, they're seeing that the friend zone and the break until the emergency guy is gone and the friend zone guys are, you got, what do you expect these self-respecting men to do? They just gonna wait around for y'all to just till you get ready? No, they're gonna go off and get women that are ready right now. You understand? You see, Boaz wasn't waiting. She was ready. Marcus Brown, salute OG, Uncle D, the chat. Dennis, thank you so much, Marcus. Nuruddin FDNY. Dennis, they are upset because they can't stop this. One of my Passport Bro dads bumped into me while I was working on my demo truck, and he recognized me and shook my hand. It told me, thank you so much, brother. TIQS says, Passport Bros did not start this fight. We got 22 super chats. Let's see if we can get to 25. That'll be live. But anyway, TIQ said Passport Bros did not start this fight. They left. They did because they were not wanted and wanted to get some dental work. Are you funny? Anyway, Nuruddin FDNY guy 1677 says, Dennis, I was speaking to an Instagram model named Ashley Diaz. She said that if a guy friends tried to push up on her, she's going to reject him. And I said to her, what would happen if they get a passport? Okay, yeah, he's going to see he don't even need to deal with her anymore. My man Nuruddin FDNY got Dennis, guess what happened to guys and her friend zone? So what happened? They got themselves passports and now have become Passport Bros, and she can't handle it. She started crying and they're gone. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. You know, you can't keep pushing men away. Men, ladies, you got to understand something. I know you think that it'll never end, but good men are a very rare commodity. They're not an easy occurrence. You see? And if you have some, you better get you one. Anyway, shout out to Nuruddin FDNY. Hey, Dennis, now I'm starting to see that a lot of busty blonde MILFs, busty bunnies, and busty Latinas are going after young black men that are about something. Ladies are coming for your sons. Yeah, it was one thing when the brothers were just here dating locally and whatnot. They were still within the gaze of the Black American community, okay? But it's really nothing you can do about a group of men who've left. They've left the territorial United States. You can't control them with shame. You can't even make an example out of them because they're gone, you know? There's no discomfort. You got a few black women traveling here and there, but a few black men with, you know, who might say something, but other than that, nobody cares, you see? So they've lost power. So that's the difference between interracial dating in the United States and black men going overseas dating women from whatever color, Asian, African, West Indian, Latin American, whatever. It's just a big difference. My man Quantum Solace says, is this picture speaks 1,000 words? Ninja calling someone lame. I wonder if bruh making business networking moves abroad, he's more worried about where a brother is flexing his members than the latter. Thank you so much. Quantum Solace also said, Ricky Lake. Oh yeah, these are all the talk shows that really, you know, caused a rift between black people, you see, back in the day. Ricky Lake Show, Sally Jesse Raphael Show, Phil Donahue, Oprah Winfrey. Decades of tormented show, or Oprah Winfrey, he calls it. Decades of tormented show and tells brothers' business on the world stage, yet they act as though yesteryear never happened, as we have already gone cold. Yeah, like I was saying, black men didn't start this media war, okay? This is not something that black men kicked up. This was something instituted by these networks, pushed by these white supremacist media tycoons that have never had anything good to say about black people in general, much less black men. And they baited black women in their rage and their anger and their angst, and they got them on there and said a whole bunch of other horrible things about black men, and that went on for decades. You see, so now you have black men pushing back using the internet, social media, etc., and now it's called a war. But anyway, thank you so much. A shout out to Kenneth Milo. God, good game, brother. I appreciate the show today. Thank you so much. The Lucky Lefty, blessings, Uncle D. Just wanted to drop a quick donation. Even though I'm married, I'm a huge supporter of the Passport Bro movement. Yeah, we are support. We want to see the brothers get on out there and have a good time and see what the world has to offer. Nothing wrong with that. We got 23 super chats. Let's see if we can get to 25. That'll be live, but only if I earn something. Don't give me a dime if I didn't earn anything. If you didn't learn something today, if I didn't make you think about something that you wouldn't have thought about, then don't give me anything. But if you did earn something, if you did learn something, I should earn something. Shout out to Quantum Solace. He says, bearing false witness got these ladies' heads to gas up. They wear their lies on their sleeves. They know we're not engaging in any mischief abroad. They're just trying to river because of losing control of the narrative. Well, brother, I will be honest with you. There are a lot of brothers who are out there engaging in a lot of mischief. Okay, there's a lot of mischief going on right now. There's some brothers in Sosua and what do they call that place in Thailand, Patao and Medellin. They're being very mischievous right now. They'll probably run out of propylastics right now. They'll probably run out of them, and they got to go down to the corner store, but the store is closed, okay? And so now they're contemplating whether or not they should go on up in there, we'll say unabridged, okay? That's what shout out to my man Jeremy Spivey. They don't know if they should run up in that. It's looking good to them. It's looking delicious, and they don't know if they might want to go ahead and take them. They ask, how many kids do you have already right now? Because they like, man, I need to get the rest of this flight leave tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be one of these people who is disingenuous and tell you there aren't black men traveling to these other countries just so they can flush out their plumbing. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to you and tell you they're not doing that. And if that's what they do, if it's legal in that country, go right on ahead. Go right on ahead and enjoy yourself. Other men have been doing, go ahead. Sow your royal oats, so to speak. There was a movie that came out called Coming to America. I don't know if it came out in the 80s or 90s, but Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy were in it. And basically, the king of Zamunda told his son, who was played by Eddie Murphy, to go to America, go and sow your royal oats. Go on out there and smash whatever you can and then come on back home. This is not something that is germane to one group of men on this planet or one culture. These men are out there having a good time, enjoying themselves. Oh, well, be safe, have a good time, stay out of trouble. You come back with some memories. If you don't come back, fine. You decide to stay, fine. You're grown men, you're free to do that. I'm not gonna sit here. I know this is a family-friendly show, but yeah, there's some men out there for the purpose of paying for playing. It is what it is. Okay? Nevertheless, shout out to Ray Shard Smith. We got 26 super chats. And look, if it's legal, what business of it is anybody else's? That's what I'm trying to tell you. If it's legal, what you're doing in most of those countries it is, why would anybody else care? You don't tell them what to do. These are grown men. Period. Shout out to Ray Shard Smith. Do you counsel for DRXpay move? Yeah, give me a call. Email me at spurlingdennis@gmail.com. I will hook you up with a lawyer, a real estate agent, and a taxi off rip. You can email me if you want a consultation. Email me at spurlingdennis@gmail.com. I'll give you the whole plug. Yeah. Make sure you get in and get out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to reading this stuff up so I can wrap this thing up. But anyway, yeah, shout out to everybody who contributed to the super chat, the Cash App, and the paper. We got 27. Let's see if we can get to 30, but only if I earn something. Only if you learn something. All right, Ray Shard Smith, my wife will be due. They can't stop the brother. They sure can't. Can't stop grown men from doing what they want to do. Oak Ridge 221, you definitely earned something. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Quantum Solace, real talk, Blizzard King. My passport represents freedom of peace, represents freedom of peace and solace. I'm having autonomy to do what the F I want to do. Where I go, I'm not down with the madness. Thank you so much, man. You spoke a mouthful. BS is real. SYSBM. Thank you so much for BS is real. Quantum Solace, if these ladies think that Caesar should cut off our mobility, that's not going to happen, especially with AI being afoot. Most of these brothers are tech, which we're needed abroad as well. Get the cash. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, man. It's a lot of brothers moving overseas permanently. Okay. Shout out to Big John Stud. Thank you for the $10 super. Man, we got 28 super chats. We might get to 30. 2 more, we'll be at 30. That'd be great. Let me, Shorty Steely, thank you so much. Nerd and FDNIY. Dennis, I live in New York. I see a lot of busty bunnies and old busty Latinas in the gym. And I also see them in Central Park jogging alongside black men. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. These other women, they want men too. They'll take a black one, a white one, whatever. You see? I learned something. So now that I got to pay something, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Nerd and FDNY. Dennis, when I tell you they're coming for good black men in droves, the busty bunnies and busty Latinas are working out. They're in the gym and snatching up black men like nothing. Because men are in general are producers. Men generally make women's lives easier because men bring in resources and income. On top of that, men who don't necessarily bring the resource, they are helpful with their time and energy. There are non-quantifiable things, non-tangible things that men bring to a relationship. But thank you so much. Simply, Jonathan, how can you be pissed with the man you say you don't want? Clearly, they wanted, they just didn't want. Yeah, that's true, too. You can't be mad at a group of men who you said you didn't want, ladies. That just makes no sense. And you want us to give you the fact, well, women in general don't make sense. Yeah, but at some point after 30, 40 years of you telling these men that you don't need them, you can't get mad when they start believing you, right? That's why you got to be careful what you ask for. You got to be careful what you ask for because now you're getting what you asked for. Shout out to Nerd and FDNY. Dennis, I talked to some busty Latinas and busty bunnies, and they were disgusted at the lovely ladies who were dancing on Kevin Samuels' grave. I taught their daughters to do that the same. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that was unfortunate. But anyway, family, let's go ahead and I want to go ahead and thank everybody who contributed. We got 28 super chats. I appreciate all the people who learned something on this occasion. And let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. We might get to 30, but only if we learn something. Don't give me a dime, okay? If I didn't earn it, I don't want it. If you learn, I should earn. But if I didn't earn, I don't want it. If that being the case, ladies, I want to talk to you, okay? You need to understand something else, and I said this years ago, okay? Many of you may not realize this, but I'm an original passport bro. I've been traveling since 2010. It's about 15 years, right after my divorce. So I'm not theorizing. See, I'm testifying about lived experiences right now. What a lot of people fail to grasp is that this is not just a movement. It's not a phase. It's not a trend that dies out when the hashtag fades. It's a mindset, a complete shift in male consciousness. It's an evolution rooted in exposure, experience, and education. It's a declaration of ownership. Once a man's eyes have been open to the world, once he's tasted that freedom, you can never close them again. Shout out to Nerid and FDNY. Thank you so much. Let me say that again. Once he's seen what's available to him in the world, you can't help, he can't unsee that. Ever. These men have tasted freedom. And see, this is not a fad. A fad is emotional. It's impulsive. It's reactive and temporary, like fashion. You understand? This is not that. Shout out to Maximilian. See, once attention moves on, that's what you see happening. That's a fad. But what we're dealing with is an ideology. It's permanent. It's born from thought and pain and experience and conviction. It's not a reaction. It's a conclusion. The passport movement is not a fad. It's an ideology of self-determination that sprang from years of frustration and disrespect and rejection. And from the realization that the world is wide open. Shout out to Nerd and FDNY guy. It's no different from the Great Migration when Black families left the South for northern cities searching for dignity and opportunity. They weren't running from their own people. They were running towards a better life. And the same is true today. You can mock it, you can shame it, you can hashtag against it, but you can't stop it. Every insult, every meme, every condescending comment only proves the passport bros point and makes the ideology grow stronger. We now live in a global dating economy. The internet, cheap airfare, dating apps have flattened the world. A man in Detroit can meet a woman in Medellin. A brother in Atlanta can meet a woman in Rio. A man in Dallas can fall in love with a woman in Manila. This isn't fantasy. This is the new normal. And here's the harsh reality. You no longer are the only option. See, for decades, many American women, including Black women, you treated ordinary, regular, hardworking, mid-Black men as if they were invisible. They were too short. They were too broke. They were too fat. They were too average. But see, now the same men you dismissed are being celebrated elsewhere. They're being celebrated in Colombia. They're being celebrated in Dominican Republic. They're being celebrated in Thailand and Philippines. Those men are respected as good men, as providers, as husbands and fathers. They are valued. They're valued for stuff that you overlooked, like loyalty and stability and strength. Qualities that here are mocked as boring. Tell the truth. See, here in the United States, women have developed a first world fantasy. You want this man who's a provider and a protector and emotionally aware and spiritually grounded and financially successful and cute enough to be on your social media accessory. But as the late, great Kevin Samuels said, that's first world thinking. See, outside of America, women still understand that a good man doesn't have to be perfect. He just has to be present. So when that average man that you rejected buys a $239 ticket to Cartagena and ends up with a woman who looks like she belongs as a final contestant on the Miss Universe pageant, and she greets him with respect and admiration and peace, that's the new reality. That's your competition right now. And it's happening every day of the year, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You can't threaten them and say, oh, you're going to go down there and get robbed. Don't care. You can get robbed right here in America. You're going to go down there and catch some STD. You can get that right here in America. The people don't like you. They don't like black men in America. Y'all dusty loot. You call us that here in America. You spent all your ammo. Guilt is not going to get these black men back. You can't shame them into submission. You can't insult them into staying, because this isn't just about dating. It's about freedom. And see, there's a deeper truth about why men travel. And here's what you need to understand, or should I say over understand. Traveling overseas is not simply about beautiful women or sex. Yes, those exist, but that's the surface level. If all a man wanted was sex, if that's it, if that's all he wants, he can find that in every major city in the United States. Every city has a blade. Every city has escort sites. Every city has adult options. You got truck stops that they got something called, what do they call them? Lounge lizards on every major highway. You don't need a passport for that. What these men are seeking overseas and what they end up receiving is a certain type of treatment based not on how much money they make, not on how tall they are, not on how physically fit they are, but on the mere fact that they are men. What comes with that? Dignity. And that's what they're seeking. They're seeking grace. They're seeking respect. And this is something that has become very rare as a commodity here in the United States. You have some women who would tell you, I don't respect a man unless we get married. I'm not going to do for him what I would do for my husband. Whereas those women give that freely to whatever man is in their presence in these other countries. It comes with the package. Let me run this down to you, family. Shout out to Quantum Solace. In America, especially for black men, I want you to listen to me carefully. In the United States of America, a man can reach the pinnacle of professional success. Shout out to Quantum Solace. And he can be talked down to in his home. He can be the doctor. He can be the lawyer. He can be the engineer. And he can still be undermined and disrespected by his woman. You got a show right now where the former First Lady of the United States of America, a black woman, is talking negatively on a regular basis about her husband, President Barack Obama. You got another woman who periodically goes on podcasts and TV shows and talks bad about her husband, who happens to be one of the greatest NBA players who has ever played the game of basketball. And she professes each and every day of the week that she appears on these shows how she only married him because his parents wanted him to marry her. Her parents don't want him to marry Steph Curry and his wife. You got another man, Will Smith. This brother is a multimillionaire, worldwide known actor, loved by so many people. And he's publicly disrespected and humiliated on his wife's podcast, broadcast from his home at a red table. Meanwhile, the same black man of a much lower status, he don't have to be a Will Smith. He doesn't have to be an NBA player. He don't have to be a former president of the United States. He can be a lowly black man with a regular job, much less a doctor, lawyer, engineer. He can go to Colombia. He can go to the Dominican Republic. He can go to Brazil and be treated with more admiration and appreciation than he'll ever receive in the United States. Let me lay it down to you like this. A doctor or a lawyer in America gets less respect and appreciation than a local taxi driver or street sweeper in the Dominican Republic. Let that sink in. A black American doctor in the U.S. will get less respect from his own family and community than a Colombian cab driver who gets from his wife and his neighborhood. And that's not hyperbole. That's fact. That's something that I've experienced myself. And see, here's the thing. Once a man experiences that difference, once he gets addicted to that peace and that feminine grace and that cooperative energy, he can't go back. You can't shame him back into chaos after he's tasted calm. You can't lure him back into conflict after he's experienced care. So ladies, let me reemphasize something. The passport bros are gone. They're gone. They're gone. They're not coming back. They're not on vacation. They're gone because they've seen a world that treats them the way men are supposed to be treated. And once they've tasted that level of peace and appreciation, it's over. There are men right now loading up on airplanes all across the world on their way back to the United States, looking at their cell phones, looking at pictures, depressed. They do not want to go back to LaGuardia, or JFK, or Hartsfield, or Bush Intercontinental, or LAX. They are sad right now that they got to go back to Miami International Airport or Fort Lauderdale. They're on the plane right now listening to me. Sad. Thinking about, praying. Can't wait to get back. They stacking up vacation days right now. You know why football is dead? Why the church is dying? Because the men ain't there. They're on vacation in the sewer right now. Praise God. Doing who knows what. They're in Rio. Packing their bags. They're not watching the NFL. This is what I'm trying to tell you. The passport bros are gone. They're not coming back. When they do come back, they won't date you. They won't argue with you. They won't engage online with you. They've checked out. They're building new lives, new families. They got new dreams and new aspirations, and they see new futures elsewhere. There's absolutely, positively nothing you can do to stop it. Shout out to Quantum Solace. That's not rebellion. That's not escapism. That is evolution. You can deny it. You can despise it. But you will have to deal with it. Because this is the brave new world that you live in, a world where men, especially black men, have realized that their passports are tickets to peace, not permission slips from anyone else. Evolution doesn't ask for approval. It just moves forward and never looks back. So my whole point is this. Why continue arguing with men who don't want you? Why continue attempting to shame men on the internet who are gone? Why not just work with the men who are here? Why continue saying disparaging things about all black men on the internet for our open enemy to use against us and throw against all of us? Because all you're doing is making the lives of the black men who are still here harder. The passport bros are gone. They're in Thailand right now. They're in Sasua right now. They're hanging out on the beach. The only people that you're hurting right now are the black men who are still here in the United States, who are still here to stay. When you say, oh, black men of this, black men of that, the only people you are hurting are the black men who are here right now. Not the passport bros. Passport bros are gone. Hell, they might not even have a signal. The only internet they're looking at is on WhatsApp when you're coming over. At this point, you got to let it go. You got to move on. You got to learn your lesson. You got to be thankful of the men that you still have here right now. That's it. All this attacking passport bros doing is making the gender war worse. Because now you're going to turn the men who are left here against you because you're making our life harder. Time to chill. It's time to let it go. God bless you all. I love you. Look forward to reading the comments. Appreciate everybody who spent the time with me on this day talking about this broadcast. And as always said this time, I'm out.
Dennis Spurling Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe.